Ekberg, and I want to welcome you on the behalf of the team from Accenture, Nordic Innovation, and Citra. We will have a Q&A session at the end, but if you have any questions during the presentation, you can write them in the chat directly or raise your hand and ask the question right away. So throughout the program, we in Accenture will, on behalf of Nordic Innovation, facilitate the coming workshops, provide support and subject matter expertise. So circular economy has become an important area for us in Accenture. And as concern for climate change has intensified, the focus for companies in all industries has spread towards broader issues of sustainability and resource usage. So while it's critical to focus on reducing carbon emission through energy efficiency and renewable energy, focusing only on production and consumption of energy only solves half of the emissions. So we must address how we manufacture and use products. So we in Accenture, we work together with our clients on identifying and implementing circular business models. So on the call with me today are my colleagues Katrine Erskine and Anna Tröndevold, who you will hear a bit from later. And throughout the workshops, you will also engage with various Accenture resources in form of industry expert and circular economy experts. So from Nordic Innovation, you will have the opportunity to connect with Marte Haugland, Peter Munk-Madsen, and Hege Louise Guttormsen. And I will now hand over the word to you, Marte, for some short presentation.
Thank you, Sophia. And we are very, very happy to welcome you to the kickoff of this circular economy business model workshops this year. The previous workshops have been very successful in terms of what the feedback we get from the companies, and we are very happy to be able to offer this competence building program for new companies this year. Nordic Innovation is the innovation arm of the Nordic Council of Ministers, so the intergovernmental cooperation between the Nordic countries. We get a program or our tasks or goals from the 5 Nordic ministers for business and innovation. Nordic Innovation is located in Oslo. We, together with research on energy and general research, so innovation and research are located in Oslo, in the Nordics, and we have an annual budget of around 90 million Norwegian kroners per year, which is not so quite little, but still enough to facilitate a lot of good Nordic cooperation. And we get our program and our goal is to work for value creation in Nordic companies through innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainable growth. We work on the Vision 2030, so please change the slide. Yes, this is the Nordic Vision 2030. The Nordics should be the most sustainable and integrated region in the world by 2030. This is our prime ministers who have decided on this vision. This is what they would like to see for the Nordic countries. And through this, they would like to have a green Nordic region, a competitive Nordic region, and a socially sustainable Nordic region. So within this, all the work that we do at Nordic Innovation is part of this. And I would say that circular economy and circular economy business models is really situated in the midst of this. It's green, but you have the very competitive elements, at least we hope so, and as well as a socially sustainable element with locally placed economies as well. But of course, our aim here is for you, the companies, to have value creation while being gaining that competitiveness that you need going forward in the world today, where there is so much focus on green transition. Circular economy is a way that you can become a part of that transition, both material, and to reduce emissions. Next. And these are some of the companies that these have already participated in the program. The program started in 2018-19 when Sitra, the Future Innovation Fund of Finland, together with Accenture, developed the program and run it with Finnish companies. Then Nordic Innovation worked very closely together with Sitra and Accenture to build a Nordic program where Nordic companies could have the opportunities to meet, learn from peers, also to extend their value chain and to work really in the ecosystems that your value chains represent. Because going to the circular economy alone doesn't really help. You need your partners with you, and if you can manage to orchestrate or work in the ecosystem, you will gain more, all of you. That's the aim. So you see there are lots of Nordic companies that have gone through this. Now it's you. We look very much forward to working with you and to seeing what ideas and how you can work with this subject matter. We're very happy to have you on board. Word back to you, Sophia. Thank you.
Thank you, Matti, for providing that introduction of Nordic Innovation and of the program. So now we want to get to know you all here a bit better, who's going to participate in this workshop program. So we want you to go into menti.com and enter the code that you see on the screen and start answering the first question, which is which industry ecosystem that you primarily work in. So as you can see, the workshop program is covering all of these 5 subsectors. And we can see that we have a variation of all of you here at the kickoff. So I'm going to jump to the next question, which is about what your primary role is in your organization. So circular economy is the relevant cross functions and cross businesses. So we can see now that we have most people within the sustainability function in the organization, which is quite common, but it is also covering people across the businesses, which we are very glad to see. And then we have the last question, which is how familiar you are with the circular economy business models. Also very glad to see here that many of you, that no one is answering that they have never heard about the business models, which I know that in previously workshop programs, that has been an answer from some people at this stage, but we are very happy that we see that this becomes more and more common to know about circular economy. And many organizations knows about circular economy, but there are many different definitions of it. So these workshops will widening your circular economy aspect and provide you a framework that you can bring back to your own organization. So thank you for answering the Menti questions. So as of today, we have more than 50 organizations across the Nordics joining the program together with you. And some of these might become your future partners in your circular journey. So again, a big welcome to all of you. So this program that you are joining is designed to help you, your company find and test its role in the Nordic manufacturing circular ecosystem. So through initiating of a industry ecosystem pilot project. Circular economy cannot be achieved by one company alone, and collaboration between traditional and new actors in the ecosystem will be required to close the loops effectively. So successful transformation into a circular business requires a considerable shift in capabilities, mindset, and collaboration. So as manufacturing companies will have to adapt their products and solution design and continuously engage with customers and ecosystem partners. So during the coming months, we will help you to build the knowledge, the skills and tools to lead this transition towards a circular economy in the Nordics. And as Marte mentioned, the program is based on successful predecessors where over 100 companies have participated and taking part of learnings and initiated development of new business models. So we will take you through this journey, starting wide by identifying and prioritizing your company's circular opportunities based on their value potential. The second workshop, we will help you achieve an improved understanding of what circular capabilities and enabling technologies that are required to operate and enabling selected business models. And at the end of this workshop program, we will have prioritized the circular concepts and have a plan on how to scale and collaborate across ecosystem, which will be the next step to accelerate your circular advantage. So during the workshop program, we hope that we together with you can identify and prioritize the top circular opportunities for your organization and ecosystem, which will be generated through expert discussions and insights, shared expertise between peers and ecosystem in this unique network setup. And the aim is that by the end of the program, you may have an increased understanding of the opportunities and a head start in the transition to circular through a prioritized set of top circular opportunities and big bets to pursue, a business plan for your selected opportunities, and a readiness to start your pilot project. So with this welcome and introduction, we will now look at the agenda. And for the next 40 minutes, we will first go through the introduction and program ambition that Anna will take you through. And then Katrine will go through how the workshops will execute and talk a little bit about practicalities of the program before we spend the remaining time on any questions that you might have. So with this, I would like to hand over the word to you, Anna.
Thank you very much, Sophia, and hi everyone. I am really glad to see so many of you joining this program. My name is Anna Töndevold and I am the Nordic Sustainability Strategy Lead at Accenture. I've also been part since the very beginning, so I'm excited to say that this is my fourth program. And I'm especially excited about the discussions that I know that we will have and all the great ideas that I hope that we will ideate together. So really glad to be here with you today. So just to set the scene for this program and why we think it's relevant. I know that all of you are here because you think the circular economy is relevant, or I hope that that's the reason why you're here. But let's just have a minute to discuss the burning platform for circular economy for the purpose of this group, but also for you to bring back to your colleagues within your organization. So when we first developed this playbook 4 years ago, the opportunity of circular economy was clear. But I think what has changed over the 4 years is that the burning platform and the driving forces for circular economy is increasing in a rapid pace. The circular economy has never been more relevant than it is today, and there are primarily 3 forces that are driving this change. We're seeing that the regulatory pressure is increasing at a speed that we've never seen before. We're seeing new regulations such as the Circular Economy Action Plan, the EU Green Deal, and also the EU Taxonomy. All of these regulations and requirements are also broadening in scope. So now they're also encompassing requirements across the value chain, all the way from the way you design to the way you produce to the way you handle your waste. And especially it's prioritizing those industries that are present here today. It's focusing on the energy section and the transformation sector and the construction sector. So for all of you here today, this is highly relevant.
Anna, sorry for.
But we're also seeing that.
Anna, sorry for interrupting you. I think your sound is off a bit sometimes. Maybe you can try to turn off your video and see if it's better.
Sorry for that. Is it better now?
Yeah, thanks.
So the second driving forces is really, this is coming from your customers as well. The increasing pressure from regulations is obviously spreading across the value chain and the supply chain. And it means that each actor across the value chain is setting their requirements. So in order for companies to be relevant and to be a relevant supplier, you need to help your customers achieve their sustainability targets, and you need to help provide the fact base that you're also contributing and helping them achieve their circular economy goals. So this is also an important aspect. It's not just important for being compliant, it's also important for being competitive. And lastly and not least, it's important for you to get access to capital, to reinvest in your company and to grow. So we're seeing how the investor community are adjusting their portfolios towards sustainability. Investors are prioritizing those who can demonstrate superior sustainability performance, but also those who can provide the data points for that. So it's not just important to set sustainable ambitions, it's also important that you're able to document and showcase how you're driving this forward. So for the manufacturing industry, this is highly relevant, given that the manufacturing industry is a resource and carbon intensive industry, and also at the forefront of facing all these challenges. This is obviously a challenge, but also an opportunity. So if we go to the next slide. So really the winners in this game are those who are able to realize that the circular economy is a challenge, but a challenge that can be converted into an opportunity. It really makes a lot of business sense, given that we're trying to make a shift from a linear economy that is focused on consumption and where we see a lot of resource inefficiencies. So how can you improve resource efficiency, and how can you maximize the use of your assets and your products? All these things make great business sense. And we've estimated the opportunity in the Nordics to be as much as $140 billion by 2030. So really see this as an opportunity to be at the forefront in your industry and an opportunity to really drive a competitive change. But we're also seeing other positive effects of the circular economy in the way that it spurs innovation, really forcing companies to think differently about how they operate and how they engage with their customers and how they engage across the value chain. But also an opportunity to enter new market, get into secondhand markets or into service type of business models. And last but not least, to really pivot into this resilient system to be to build your license to operate and be resilient for the future. So if we move to the next slide, I think this is a great slide because this really showcases the great outcomes of this workshop program. So this is a summary of all the great ideas that we have accumulated over the years. So as much as 142 circular economy ideas has been created during this program. And I'm excited to see this number grow now with you as the participants. Also interesting with these numbers, I think, is that we see that the number of ideas is spread fairly evenly across the 5 business models. So we will go through the concepts of all these 5 business models. So if you're not aware of these, don't worry, this is part of the workshop program. But I thought I'll just take the opportunity to share some of the great ideas as a food for thought and as inspiration as you are entering into this program. So circular inputs is really about how you can redesign both the way you produce, or sorry, it's about you redesigning your products to use materials that can be regenerated over time, but also that you think about how you design your products so that they can be circularly applied across the value chain and across the use. So one great example is a building company that designed their building parts for reuse by applying modular design principles and components so that they were able to basically enable reuse at the later stages of the building's life. Sharing platforms, I think we're seeing increasingly interesting ideas when it comes to also sharing data and sharing circular performance data to continuously drive that insights and intelligence about how you can improve your circular performance. Product as a service is one of the most comprehensive circular business models. And here we had a window maker who transitioned into a service model where they entered into a service models that allow them to more proactively enter the after sales and also stay really close to their consumers for continuous engagements and offer add-on services, performance management, and doing so also better make use of their product life cycles and the we also have great ideas within product use extensions. A good example is also the use of technology in all of these ideas. So we had one of our crane manufacturers that used sensors and IoT in order to avoid waste and inefficiencies by using predictive maintenance and therefore reducing waste occurring overall. And then recovering materials and assets at the end of life. So making sure that any waste, for example, in this case, a construction site was able to recover plastic and packaging waste to better ensure that those materials were re-entering the value chain. So there's a number of great ideas, and I hope that one of your ideas will be on this page for the next year participants. So that should set the ambition.
Thank you, Anna, for providing this introduction to the burning platforms and some of the ideas that has been the result of these workshop series. So as you said, we're really looking forward to see what new ideas that can be created. And now I would like to hand the word over to Nora Sørsdal, which is CEO of REEN and a former participant in this workshop program, and would like you to present some of your experience as a participant.
Yeah,
So,
thank
yeah.
you. Thank you for having me. It's been really nice to be able to be introduced to Nordic Innovation. I think we participated on the first workshop in 2018-19. And that was very eye-opening because it made us realize 2 things: the importance of understanding the industry that you're delivering a service to, if you don't understand the industry and if you don't meet in these communities, you can't deliver a service that gives practical and actual value. And also understanding the big potential that really lies in circular economy, and that if you're not thinking for the future that you have to be both profitable and sustainable, then your business model will most likely have a lesser success rate than if you don't include it. And we see that with Reen. Reen is a tech provider for smart waste management. And by having the focus of profitability and sustainability, we've been able to have a pretty large growth, and we deliver 50,000 subscriptions today.
Thank you, Nora, so much for those words. And yeah, as you said, it's really important as an ecosystem actor to understand how the industry works, to be able to meet the customer needs and to meet this circular business models. Okay, so I will continue on with the agenda, and I will hand over to Katrine, who will introduce how the program will execute and some of the practicalities.
Thank you very much, Sophia, and also thank you, Nora, for your words. We had a phone call also last night about your contribution at Arendalsuka, where you were just talking about how important it is to meet, collaborate to make this happen. So I thought you were perfect to motivate and say some words at this kickoff as well. But back to the practicalities. So this is what we'll do. Sophia went through what we'll do at the different workshops, high level. Now we're at the kickoff. This is virtual, so I think you're also happy that we'll meet physically for the other 3 workshops, so that you'll meet the other participants face to face and can discuss in a whole other way that you can't do online. And there are 3 success factors that we want to highlight that you can have in the back of your mind, because you as participants will be forming the workshops with us and creating value for yourself and the others. So it's important that you first prioritize these workshops. Like, you come prepared. You can do this by going into the Nordic Innovation, Nordic Circular Playbook that we can link to in this chat, and also that you do your homework between the workshops. And when we say homework, it sounds scary, but it's just to continue building on the task that you've done at the workshops, going back to your colleagues and taking these tasks a step further, so that you come back even more prepared and ready to build on that and share with the other participants. And the 2 others are engage and share. So you need to be engaged, you need to be active, raise your hand and be curious, and also share your experience to the others. I think that's the way we can all build and get the most value of this after that workshop, after these 3 workshops. And if we move over to the next slide, we can see some of the nitty-gritty details. That's very important to remember, and that's where you're going to be and when. So you should maybe screen clip this page if you want to have one overview. You also have the information on your email. So machinery and equipment and maritime and energy will start in Oslo, then go to Helsinki, and then in Stockholm. And then construction and transport, it will start in Stockholm, go to Oslo, and then thirdly, meet up in Copenhagen. So the addresses for Stockholm, Copenhagen, and Helsinki are in your calendar, but the addresses for the Oslo locations have been updated. So the Oslo locations have been updated so that they are in Oslo Centrum. We'll send out an email on this, but it's close to the main central station, so to make it easier for you. And you need to book the travel yourself, so that's also important to remember. And if there's one day that you can't make it, you can also send someone else. it's always best to be the same person to have the continuity. But for some reason you get sick or other reasons, you can send a colleague as well. And it's often here we have a lot of questions, so I think we've set quite a lot of time to answer some questions from you. And Sophia, if there's any other practicalities that you think of that we should mention on this slide as well, you're free to add them now.
Oh, I think you summed it up really good, Katrine. As you mentioned, we will email this information as well. But yeah, so now we are at the stage of answering some of your questions. If you have any, I can't see that there are any questions written in the chat, but if you have any questions, now is the time to ask them or raise your hand.
We must be really happy if there's no questions, then we must have done something right.
Karin Holmqvist here, Atlas Copcom. May I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm just, maybe I did not pay attention, but before Tuesday, what do I need to do?
So before Tuesday, it would be good to have a look at the Nordic Circular Economy Playbook that we just posted in the chat. And that's it. You don't have to, if you want to prepare even further, we can also send a link of some webinars that we had this spring regarding the fundamentals of circular economy. But just scroll through the playbook and you will be good to go. And of course, bring any questions and anything like that to the workshops, and you will be able to discuss in the ecosystem and with peers.
Thank you.
Okay, so Sophia, I'll read up the questions for you. So we got a question. Is the workshop in Stockholm both 6th and 7th of September?
No, that's a good question. So each sector or each subsector have one day that they will attend. So 3 workshops in total in 3 different locations. But then we have 2 workshops in 2 days in a row. So we can make that maybe more clear in an email we sent, but we will send the information to each of your workshop that you will belong to, so you don't have to think of the other ones.
Yeah, so the construction will have their session on the 6th and then transport on the 7th.
Exactly.
Next question, Sophia, so from Kathy. So there are no opportunity to attend online. I am not able to attend the first one in Oslo.
So regarding attending online, we will, as we said, we will have the workshops on site together, where we will have some introduction presentations, but mainly focus on doing exercises and discussions between the people there on site. We can send you a link so you can listen in to the presentation, but they will be very difficult to do the exercises, and it can be very difficult to be part of the discussions on site, just for your information. But we can send you a link so you can listen into the presentations, if that would help. And someone else is asking here if there would be a list of participants before the workshop. Yes, there is, as we showed the picture here of the different companies, but we can send out this material as well, so you can have a look at that, and we could provide with a list of the companies as well. So I don't see that there are any other questions right now, but not to put you on the spot, Thomas, but I see that you are Thomas Zimmerman. You're here from Swedbank, and you've been part of this program from Accenture side before. So if you want to maybe say a word, what you think about the program or an experience that you have.
Well, hello, and thank you for letting me have the word. So I'm a little bit biased, obviously, but I think it's excellent. So I'm really looking forward to participate. from the bank's perspective this time. I think that was one of the weaknesses previously, that we had too little representation from finance. So I hope to support in contributing in strengthening that perspective this time around. Unfortunately, I won't be able to join all of the sessions, but I will try to take part in the ones being held in Stockholm and focusing on the financing perspective of the journey. So really looking forward to it, and really looking forward to meet you all in the program.
The same, Thomas. Thank you for those words. Okay, but then if there's no other questions, you can always email us if you come up with any questions after this session. Then I will give you back some time, which I guess many people will be happy of. It's always good to have some extra time. And looking forward so much to meet you starting next week with some of you, and then the week before after that. So thank you for attending this session.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
We look forward to seeing you all.
Goodbye.